Hi, I'm Jade. I'm the face behind W.I.P.S and Wishes, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first video, so a great big warm welcome to everyone who stopped by. I recently got done a market. This market was actually the first market I've done for a second year. So it was the market that I did first last year in 2024. It was the first market I ever did. And that one went well, so I thought I'd sign up again for this year. I knew that the traffic that came to this market was pretty good. It was like my old middle school, so I had gone to the market multiple years leading up to becoming an adult and getting my own little business going. This market didn't end up having as much traffic as I thought it would. I'll be honest, the organization of this market was pretty disappointing. If you don't know, I live in Vermont, so I only attend markets in Vermont, and for the most part, like, all of the craft fairs and any events I go to are pretty well organized, even if it's just one email of basic info: show up at this time, you've paid, it's confirmed. But for this one, it was a headache. I had a fellow vendor friend reach out to me on Facebook and ask if I had heard anything about setup time, protocol, where her booth was, or anything, and I hadn't. So I was like, oh, I'll just email the person. And this was the second time I emailed the organizer. The first time was I wanted to make sure that they got my application. It was on a Google form, so I know that they got it, but I was really meaning, like, did they get my check? Because it was not clear on where I sent the check to. So I just sent it to the school and addressed it to her. So, because I didn't feel like it was clear enough where I should send it to her personal address. Because I was like, it's not going towards you. The money's going towards the 8th grade class that's going to this school. So that was a little confusing. Plus, I couldn't figure out what I did for last year. I don't know if I sent it to that person's address or not, because the way that this school works, I don't know if this is the same with any other schools, but every year someone from the 8th grade class, whether it's a teacher or a parent, I think, takes over the organization of this event and they run it. Last year's 8th grade person was phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Email right as soon as my check got there, deposited it basically immediately, let me know as soon as I got my money in what booth I was going to be in, and then sent a letter or an email detailing everything, all the times, all of the things that you needed to do, which entrance to go into, all of that a week ahead of the date. So this year, unfortunately, I had to email out, and then it was only the day before the event that we got any, like, solid information, and that was disappointing because I asked for a corner space or a different space that had, like, it was one of the middle ones, and my setup really depends on where I'm located in the gymnasium or the event. So if I have a corner space, I really like to do that Z formation, but if not, I usually do a U. But if I'm closer to a corner space or middle, I want to set up, like, my height different. So that was my only, like, big frustration other than the fact that like I kept checking to make sure that my check was like clearing, because I was wanting to sign up for other markets. And yes, I know that that's more of like a on me thing, because like, don't bite off more than you can chew, don't sign up for more things than you can afford. And like, I get that I could have signed up for a bunch, I have enough in my bank account, but I'm a small business, more like a hobby. I only started this so that I could fund my hobby and it wouldn't put a strain on my husband, because I am a stay-at-home mom. I don't have any income. This is what I have. So I try to make sure that my business checking account, like, it doesn't get below a certain amount, so that I can do things like grab the yarn if I need, if I'm in a snag, do taxes later on, like just have money in. I don't know. It doesn't make me feel comfortable to see my account at zero. I don't think anyone feels comfortable when they see that. But so to prevent me from getting below that number, I wanted to make sure like that check got taken out and I was doing my math correctly so I could sign up for other markets. Because I did end up signing up for 3 other markets after this one, which was nice. But other than that, I'm hoping that next year goes much better, because I will be returning, despite the traffic being really slow this year in comparison to others. Like last year it felt like it was swamped 24/7, and this year it was a big flood of people right at opening, and then it like progressively slowed down until it was dead. People were even cleaning up half an hour before the event ended. So before I get into all of the profit and details of the items, I wanted to go over a few things that actually happened at the market. One, I will say, I saw a vendor, she made these little Buckeye candies. They're like they remind me of like the Reese's peanut butter filling in the Reese's cups, and then they were like dipped in chocolate. And because traffic was so slow, she had them 50% off, so you got 2 little candies for just $1. And I was like, sweet, 50 cents a little candy, I will absolutely snag that. So after I had made some sales, because I don't make purchases unless I've made some profit, I went over there and I bought multiple. Only ate one at the market, like one single one, and then for the rest of the time at home I was just eating them with like a cup of tea, or oh my gosh, don't come at me for this, but I had 2 for breakfast for the past like 2 days with my coffee, because that pairing, oh, I finished my last one today and I'm so mad. I should have gotten more. She had like a whole tray. I should have just given her $10 and gotten all of them. This kid might be a girl, because I was craving sweets with my last pregnancy too, and I have a daughter, so I don't know. But other than that, amazing little find. Some customers we had come by, we had 2 young girls, like preteen age, and I kept seeing them just like go up to my 2-headed bunny. I'll insert a picture. And they just kept like touching him and moving him, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at him, like, and tracing the lines of his colors, and they were obsessed. And they kept going back to their parents, or like, I don't know if they were siblings or what, but one of them kept going back to the adult and was like, Mom, look at this. And it just made me so proud of my work. And I was like, I just had finished that rabbit, or the bunny, before going to market, and it almost wasn't sewn together before this, so it's crazy that it brought in that much attention. I always love when pieces do that. But they're like walking around, and the mom looks back, and I was like, well, we're here to get gifts, Christmas gifts, for other people, not you. And like, I totally get, I'm never gonna, or at least I'm gonna try not to go, no, you should really buy it, like, convince your mom. I wouldn't appreciate if someone did that to my kid, so I'm not gonna do that to someone else. I mean, if they strike up a conversation, I probably will do the automatic salesperson pitch of like, oh yeah, it's really great, it has no safety eyes, it's out of this really fuzzy yarn, it's unique, I've only made one of them so far, things like that. But it was listed for $48, and they kept going, and then the mom stopped, and the whole rest of the group walked on, and I saw her looking back, and she pulls out her wallet and she's checking, and she looks at the sign. I was like, oh, she's gonna buy it. She's gonna purchase it. And that made me like really giddy. And she did. She ended up purchasing it. She's like, here, she'll never know. She'll never know. I was like, okay, we can do our best to hide it. This is amazing. Thank you. And my husband said that she said it was $48 because I don't have all the prices memorized, especially if it's a new product I added. So I've never had this item available, so I don't have the price memorized. And he said that she was like, it's $48 when I asked her to remind me. And she gave me $50, and I gave her back $5 because my brain just, I don't know, pregnancy, mom brain, it sucks. So she got it for $45, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Like I said, I do this for a hobby. It's more to like get a dopamine rush from taking pride in my work, and also having the benefit of more money to spend on a shit ton of yarn and all supplies. So she got it for $45, and we put it in one of our biggest bags, and the ears and stuff were still popping out, and I was like, shit, they're gonna see. I'm gonna do my best to hide this. So we put another paper bag over the top to close it up, and I was like, here you go. So that made me super happy. I can't believe it sold at the first market it was available at. Another thing that happened, this one was a little, I felt so bad. I really, really did. Okay, so a little backstory. When I was first starting out, before I even registered as a business, so before February 2025, I was going around and like testing out the waters and seeing if I liked it enough. So obviously I had done this market before, but I did 2 other markets, and they were at the same event, because the first one I made like $6 after the booth fee got taken out, and it was like a $25 booth fee for an 8-foot table, and that seemed a little pricey for me. So because I wasn't making a lot of money at that event, it was starting to frustrate me. But I decided to give it another shot. I think the next month or the month after, because they had they were trying to do like a winter craft fair thing. I know better now, though. January to March is not craft fair season. Nobody really wants to go to craft fairs. In addition to that, nobody's going to go to a town solely for a craft fair when the town doesn't have anything extra. Like, the town's dead. Their main street is tiny. They have like 2 restaurants in town, and one of them is only Chinese takeout. So it was not my day. And the next time also wasn't my day because I lost money. So whereas these 2 elderly women are trying really hard to, put together these craft fairs, it's like, I knew after the second time I went, I would not be returning. I wouldn't return to that event at that venue. I would not return to that town if they had any events going on. It wasn't fitting for me. I wasn't going to waste my money. And $25 for an 8-foot booth is a little crazy for me, because I can get an 8-foot booth for $15 in a populated town. So it wasn't worth it for me. My husband knew that I was not going to be going back. Fast forward to this past weekend, and I saw both the women that were in charge of those craft fairs, and I saw them walking by. They did not recognize me, but they oohed and awed over my setup, and they talked to each other and did the little like chit chat. And then they came over and was like, "Do you have a business card?" Which I don't. So I said, "No, but you can find me on," and I had a sign next to me that said, "Find me on Facebook and Insta, Whips and Wishes." I was like, "But you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Like, here's my name if you want to take a picture of that. I also have a QR code to go to all of my socials." And they started pulling out a flyer, and they were like, "Okay, well, we have this event coming up next weekend. Are you busy?" And I was like, "I don't know," because I didn't want to make up that I was busy. Although, like, I could have. But I pulled out my calendar. I was like, "No, I'm not busy. I have something the next weekend, but that weekend I'm good. Like, I'm open." And they're like, "Well, if you want, like, we'd love to have you. Your stuff is beautiful. It's great. We'd love to have you. It's an 8-foot table. It's at this place." I'm not gonna tell you where they're from, because I don't agree with the whole shitting on it, unless it was like really bad. These are just some little old ladies from a church trying to do their best. I'm not gonna spew their names on the internet. But they were like, "Here's a flyer. You give me a flyer, I'll check it out, I'll let you know." And they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, here's a flyer, but I'll do you one better. Here's an application as well." And so I took both of them and I thanked them, and I said I appreciated the invite and I'd let them know. And they just continued on with their day. And unfortunately, I just see my husband in the corner with a smirk on his face, because as soon as he heard where the craft fair was, he knew all the drama, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not going, are you?" And I said, "No." I would not like to lose money. My goal for this season is to gain money. I'd like to make some money to start off my next year really well. And I felt so bad, but like, the reality is, I'd rather open my online shop and not go to any venues than go to that venue, which sucks. But you know, they're lacking the publicity. They don't know how to do social media posts for it. Just a thing in the paper isn't much, and neither is a cardboard sign on the side of the road. Because like the first time I went, I drove by it like twice. I couldn't find it, and they have no parking. There's 0 parking lot. Well, okay, there's a parking lot. It's 4 spaces. One of them is a handicap, and that's the problem with some small towns. But you never know until you go. It was a risk I took, but I won't be doing it again. So I think that was all the craziness that happened. Oh no. Oh, this bugged me about this holiday bazaar that I went to. We were setting up and it was looking great. People were arriving, everyone was setting up, and then all of a sudden the time gets to be like 9:30, the doors open at 10, and person next to us on our left is a no-show. So we're in the middle of a whole line. So corner, us. No-show. That looks really weird when you have, you know, busy, nothing, only 2 more booths. So that bugged me. I didn't like having that side open. I definitely would have set up my booth as a Z formation had I known they weren't going to show, and that would have been nice. But you never know. It was too late to change my setup once the doors opened. So, and also on this corner, this individual does thrifted furniture and like upcycles it, and does all of the like country living decorations, a lot of wood items. But she is popular. She's an established business in this area, does great work, beautiful work, but she sells out in the first like 2 hours, and then she goes home and she packs up because obviously she doesn't have anything to sell. So that corner always is empty after like 12 o'clock. So our side of the gymnasium looked very bare. I don't know if it affected the traffic, but it was just disappointing because like the bathrooms were outside the gym, so I went out, and then on my way back in I just looked at it and it kind of looked pitiful. So I'm hoping next year is better. But anyway, if you made it this far, congratulations. You listened to all of my crazy ramblings, and your reward is for me to tell you how much money I made. So I brought $2,000 worth of inventory, and that was a little over 100 items, maybe 120 items. I sold 14 items. Let me go hour by hour because I saw someone on TikTok do that and I thought it was fun. So from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I made $78, which was just 6 items. From 11 to 12, I made $110, and that was 4 items. From 12 to 1, I sold 3 items, and this was actually one whole purchase. Someone came in and was like, I can't decide between the Santa gnome and the snow cone. That's from Wonder Crochet, if you don't know. I don't know which one, like, and she was asking her son, she was asking her husband, and then she asked another person next to her, and like they were giving her opinions, and she ended up buying both of them, which I thought was so funny. Loved that, especially because Santa gnome I've had for an entire year. I had it at the last market, but that total was $72. And from 1 a.m. to closing, I just sold 1 item. for $20. So the whole total that I made during the day was $280. And after I take out my booth fee, that is $260. I don't account for yarn costs or anything like that, because honestly, when Joann's was closing, I bought up a ton. Hell, I even got a part-time job at Joann's so that I could get the employee discount during their closing. So if you think I have a problem, I don't. But that is the whole rundown. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you made it to the end, please give me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe. I'd love to see you again. And comment, I don't know. What should we comment? Ooh, comment a dinosaur emoji in the comments, because I have got to make some of those and that'll be a great reminder. Okay, bye. I hope I see you again.